This video was made in partnership with Hasselblad and WhiteWall.
Alex, please do us the honors. Oh, we gotta step back.
We need this?
Hello.
No.
Hi everyone, Sammy here. Welcome back to part 2 of our Hasselblad project in partnership with WhiteWall. And this time we are in front of the WhiteWall flagship here in Hamburg. If you haven't watched the first video, please go back, watch that. We did this road trip on the other side of the Elbe River. It was a beautiful day, beautiful sun, nice colors. We met some bikers and it was just an amazing day. Watch that if you want to see some photography. Today we are going to look at prints. And WhiteWall was very generous because they printed huge prints for us. Mine is like 140 centimeters. I don't even know how wide it is.
I was very humble, 70
Yeah. 70
by 70.
It's still very big, and I've never printed bigger than 140, so very excited to see that in person. And then we're also going to talk about our workflow, our editing workflow, how we edited our photos, how that was like. We're going to talk about printing, of course. We have someone at WhiteWall who is also going to show us what to expect at the WhiteWall store, and obviously how to get the best results using WhiteWall. At the end, I also want to have a little discussion about medium format photography, look back at our experience after these 2 videos and share our thoughts on the X2D and how it was like. Because I think I changed my mind a little bit since the first video.
Oh!
Yeah, you will see. I have opened my mind a bit.
I like.
But we will see, okay? So let's go inside and look at our prints. Delmar, look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Our prints. Must be nice. So the print arrived today, the day of the shoot, because we had Easter before this and we sent our order a little bit too late. But we made it, so that's good. So we are now inside the WhiteWall flagship store in Hamburg. I'm here with Alex from WhiteWall. And first of all, how would you describe WhiteWall in a few sentences?
Yes, so WhiteWall is a premium photo laboratory on peak level on gallery standards.
And you can come here and see the print quality yourself. I assume these are the different materials you can print on?
Yes,
yeah?
There's some of it, not all of it. We have some samples on the back, we have some samples all in the room where you can take it in your hand. Of course, you can take all of it. To take something like this, you can see it from the back.
And can customers come here and touch it? And
yes, of course, please do that.
Hey, put that back. Nein, Spaß. This is very helpful because you have this nice 3D mock-up or this animation. You can turn your print. It's very nice, but you want to see it and feel it also.
Yes,
the material.
you want to know how you would hang it, how you do it in your home. We can advise you to that. We can tell you something about the light situation at your home and what product would especially perfect for this one.
Ah, okay. Is WhiteWall a German company?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes,
I did not know that. I thought it's just a European.
It's produced everything in Cologne.
Made in Germany.
Yes, it's Frechen near Cologne, and they are working like 150 to 180 people working on your product, and we're shipping worldwide, especially to 48 countries.
Okay, there are some photos from the printing process.
Yes, that's some steps of our laboratory, and every step is going to be controlled by each person.
And I found out, or you told us that everyone here working here or for WhiteWall is also a photographer?
Yes, mostly photographers, but at least have a photographic background in some kind. At this point, it's necessary to advise the customers right, because nothing is worse than get a good file shitty produced.
Yeah. WhiteWall does not only do prints, but okay,
Sie besser ausblenden.
Okay, Alex, what do I have to do to get a print like this shipped to my home?
So, first of all, you need a good file. After that, we will advise you to some very VIP persons on this project.
Okay.
It's like a lot of money, it's like a lot of organization.
Yeah.
So we will do that for you, but you can come
It's
to
not
us.
something you just order online.
Not that directly.
Yeah, okay. Would this sensor be capable of resolving a photo like this?
Probably,
Yeah?
yes. Yes.
Okay.
I would take a closer look, and we will take a closer look on each individual file,
Yeah.
but I will say probably yes.
Okay. So just to give it a little Hasselblad endorsement in this video. Then you have these computers standing here, probably to do some configuration.
Yes, we can do some configurations here, but also some checking of your files. You can send us your files. You can also come here with a stick, with the memory card, so on.
Yeah.
Even AirDrop is possible here. And we're gonna check your file of the quality, if you got on
Enough
your
detail,
yes, yes. If you got a picture 30 to 40, but like I wanted to have it in 1.80 m. We can check if it's possible, if the
Yeah.
quality is good enough.
Actually, I did this process at home on my computer, and I was on the phone with Stefan here from the Hamburg store, and he helped me, step by step, decide what's the best configuration for my print. And that was super helpful. I guess you do the same here.
Yes.
So you can also do it by phone.
Yes.
And
we only
yeah.
we offer to some digital appointments. Here you can video call us, set up an appointment, and then you will
Yeah.
check everything.
And he sent me a preview of the configuration, and he did some adjustments. And because he saw my photo was a little dark, low light, and he suggested, maybe fill up the shadows a bit more. And so he convinced me to change my image a bit, and that was very helpful. So I felt good about it. Okay, now we can print it.
So-
okay, Alex, this looks like we are about to play a quiz game, or what is going on?
So we have like the main point for visiting our store. These are some paper samples on like main photo paper and fine art paper, a little variation of black and white papers, where you can choose which is perfect for my setting, for my project. You can also order them for you at home, like in our test boxes. But we have here perfect lighting and can advise you in the store. So this is perfect to
Okay.
see in real.
Yeah, this is, I think, the first thing I went to when I came here last year. I was like, okay, this is important. Let me see the paper.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, Delmar, let's talk about post-production. I want to know, how did you edit your files? For example, what software are you using? Photoshop, Lightroom?
Lightroom.
Lightroom?
Lightroom.
Okay. So how does your workflow look like? You come home, you took some photos on your X2D. Do you even use a compact flash card?
No, no
Me
card.
neither. I only use the internal
I
storage.
just use the storage.
Yeah.
I use the USB-C cable, and
Yeah.
I imported straight into Lightroom. I tried this time also to use Focus before, and Focus isn't bad, but because I organize
Yeah.
I have all my photos organized in Lightroom. I'm using the Lightroom mobile version also to organize the photos.
Okay.
So I think Focus gives me a bit better colors, I thought, but I tried and compared. I cannot see a difference.
So I think the color science of the Hasselblad cameras, it's always this one profile, right? In Focus, you have one profile. In Lightroom, Photoshop, you have also one.
It's inside the files.
Yeah.
You don't need Focus to get this.
Yeah, exactly. First, I tried Focus because I thought you have to use it. What I found is that when you use Focus, highlight and shadow recovery looks very natural. I mean, not when you overdo it, but we will look at our print later. And the photo I chose for that print, when I raised the shadows in Photoshop, it didn't look as good as in Focus. But for everything else, I prefer to use Photoshop or Lightroom. It's the same raw converter. But Focus has definitely something is different when you recover the shadows. But yeah, I agree, it's a separate software you have to learn. You don't have your catalog. Maybe you do, I haven't looked into it enough. Yeah.
But the magic is, I think these files, they have so much information. I can see the difference between using like Hasselblad files in Lightroom or other files. I cannot see a difference in the look of the lenses or the photos. It's quite similar, but I can see it in the files, and I enjoy that. So when I have the files and I have a difficult light situation, or when it's...
Yeah, I want to talk about that, but
All right.
go on.
Or when you use high ISO,
Yeah.
when you have, if you have to use maybe 12,800 or above, then these files give you, they maintain more details. And that difference.
I haven't pushed this sensor this much yet, but when you mentioned difficult lighting situations, the first time I tried this camera was when I was with friends in their apartment. It was dark. We had artificial light. It's usually crappy light when you take photos indoors. One light bulb is tungsten, one is daylight. It's a mess. But somehow the photos were easy to edit and it looked natural. Like with my other cameras, it always is either too blue or too warm, too cold, too warm. And with the files I got out of this camera, it looked very pleasing. It looked almost like natural light. That's definitely something I found out. Yeah, and then in terms of the colors, now this is interesting because we are posting this video online, and people who are watching this are probably watching this on a sRGB screen. So we can't even show you the colors you get from a 16-bit raw file.
But when at the moment when you work with the files, so for instance, I have worked at the beginning with analog cameras, so I remember the time, but I wasn't so keen to work actually to be in the lab.
Yeah.
I wasn't so big on being in the lab.
Yeah.
But when I work on these kind of files on the screen, for me it's a feeling like, okay, now I'm arrived, I have the data. So I don't do so much to the photos, but whenever there's something tricky, or if I want to adjust the color slightly, I really have this. So it has this. It's like a surround sound.
Okay.
I tried out the 90750C. All right, and I tried it for a weekend. I went to the zoo and took photos, people, my son, and there were some photos that maybe we show one of these. There were some photos where the colors were so nice that I was like, shit, this is really different. The camera was terrible, but the files that I got out of this, and they were really special. And now they fixed every issue that I thought was bad of the old generation.
Yeah, see, this is the difference because you have used the older generation models, so you know how much this improved.
Yes.
But for me, I always compare it to my full frame mirrorless, super speedy cameras, and that's not a fair comparison because this is not what this is. This is, image quality, perfect lenses, no chromatic aberrations and stuff like that. So I told you in the beginning that I changed my mind a little bit, right? And I'm not saying that this camera is for me, it's for me, but I still think it's not really the right tool for me. But I appreciate more and more what I can get out of it. And it's not, I'm not looking at this now like, oh, this is the camera I use for my documentary projects. No, I just treat it as as you just explained your zoo example, like it's slow, but every now and then you get this surprise and this, wow, look at these colors. And I went to an Easter fire last weekend and took some photos, and it was perfect for that. Even though it was, I had to manual focus because it was very dark and I wanted to be sure I nailed the focus, but the colors were beautiful and it was okay that it was slowing down. So I took some other cameras with me as well, but the photos I got out of this camera, I have to say, they were quite nice. So, so now I know that even if there's a difficult lighting situation or it's very low light, I can get so much out of the file. I don't have to think about, oh no, I have to use high ISOs. Like, it's fine if you do it, I remember during the road trip we talked a bit about aspect ratios, and you told me how you set up, a custom button to flip through the aspect ratios, and I didn't do that, but later when I was editing my files, I would sometimes manually crop into a wider aspect ratio. And normally I don't do that because I lose so much resolution, so I don't want to lose details. But here, obviously, it's sometimes even too much, so even cropping is better, so I can save a smaller file later.
It would be nice if these cameras had a choice option that you can use a lower resolution.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to
That would
say
be
that
very
too.
nice.
Yes, because you don't always need 102 megapixels. I take photos of my son with this camera. The photos always look nice, but whenever I save them, I'm like, oh, another 200 megabytes for one photo. But would you use smaller RAW sizes? Would it be useful for you?
I have another camera that does that, and I'm using it. I'm
okay.
using the medium size for
Yeah.
that one, for instance. I think 60-70 would be.
That's also a lot. Yeah, for now I'm treating this as my high resolution, super detailed camera for whenever it has to be perfect, and then use all the other cameras for lower resolution. So, is it not possible to get 16-bit with full frame cameras?
I don't think so.
That's probably the main thing that I like about this camera or this sensor. It's not so much the resolution, but it's the color
colors.
depth. Yeah.
At the end, it's the colors, yes, and that's true, and that's something I can. It's
Yeah, and in editing, you are more flexible, even though if you display your photo later in sRGB and smaller colors. All this post-processing talk is useless unless we look at a photograph printed. So, shall we check out our prints? How many hours we are here already? Like 2 or 3 hours, and our prints are next to us here, sitting there.
That's too long.
All we want is just look at the prints.
Yes, we do. Come on.
Okay, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, the big moment has arrived. The big reveal of our prints. I'm so nervous. Delmar. We will start with Delmar's print because it's a smaller one. You know, save the best for the last. No, Alex, please show us print
Your
number
moment.
1. Wow, the vibrancy of the colors is nice. And you did choose glass, yeah?
I did, yes.
Okay,
For
I
this.
thought you also did print on Already
I
Bond.
did for this one.
Of course,
Because
I
also
have
this
to
is-
look close
For
here.
me, my favorite moment in this is that.
Yeah, it looks
This
it looks out of focus, but it is because of
And
this,
it's like a
lens.
window, and this is like a glass. So
Crazy, the details. Yeah, I saw you sent me
This
the
is
original
perfect.
file, and I looked at it, but it's
Yeah.
different looking at it printed. Did you photograph this in 1:1 aspect ratio, or did you crop
I did.
it? Yeah.
I did in 1:1,
Tell us a bit about this.
and
Where
so
did you take
basically-
this? And
usually when you visit Gizeh and the pyramids, you're in that compound. But this is where there are some tourists here, but also the people who have the camels and the horses. On this side is where they keep them. So there's a slum which is further down, and this area, the government wants to tear down all of this area that you see here. But this is kind of a normal, this is how Egypt really is, or Cairo. So here we bring together kind of a reality from now. So these are normal houses, not really developed, but in these houses there are kind of cheap hotels. All right. So and I
you can
really
see
like
the names here. You can read the text. Hotel
Wow,
daily
yes.
tours.
exactly. So here you have these two worlds. You have the pyramid, but then you have the back. So I really like this.
Yeah, it is. It's a strange image if you don't know where it was shot. Even if you would just crop this, it could also be very interesting. Just this guy here, and then these.
And this is a slight crop. I mean, I had a 55 there, and the image was a bit bigger.
Oh, how much did you crop? Because this is interesting in terms of
we can
resolution.
we
if there
can
was-
see the in the photo, not too much, but it's a slight crop.
What is your product? Do you remember the frame name and the paper or the type of Basel frame?
No, this is not Basel. This is
it
the
not
small.
Basel?
This is a thinner one, or Basel 6.
Basel 6 mm.
Basel
Okay,
6 millimeter
It's
is
Basel
the product
6 millimeter.
for this frame. Yeah, I have the same in deeper because I wanted the print to have this floating effect.
So I chose a brown, which is a little bit lighter, but it's still in the same color. This is perfect. I'm really happy with this.
That's what you wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Nice. That's the photo he took last week during the road trip, by the way. You just didn't see the location, but we went to Egypt.
Just for a moment.
No. Cool. Is it the first time you printed something this big out of your Hasselblad, your X2D? Or have you done prints like this already?
No, I have not.
So does
This
this
is the
make you
first
want
time.
to do more prints? I mean, this is why
I
you get a
prefer
camera like
books.
this.
I prefer books.
Books. Ah,
Yes.
okay.
So I like actually the narrative in a book. But when I see this, I know this won't be the last print.
Yeah,
That's for
okay.
sure.
Okay, that's good. So the next print we're going to look at was shot on this Hasselblad X2D with the 38mm 2.5 XCD lens. Alex, please do us the honors. Oh, we gotta step back.
We need this.
It's not bad. I'm just kidding.
You happy?
Okay. Yeah, I'm very happy. I just have to. I still am processing it.
Yes.
I thought that the print would be a little bit closer to the frame, because now we have light directly coming towards the photo. It's probably better to have it a little bit from above, because now we have like this is lit up, and if you have light from the top, then this would be darker probably. So yeah, I chose a Hahnemühle finer print, Hahnemühle Baryta, and it is not printed on alu debond, but it's a finer print that it was mounted onto alu debond. I wanted to use glass first because I have, a 3-year-old at home and he throws stuff, and I thought it's better to protect it. But I wanted to see the paper, and I know this paper very well. So I like a matte print.
Can you also did you have a choice how high
No.
this is?
This is.
You can only choose the depth of the.
This is Basel Plus. This only comes in this configuration, in this dimensions here, and the gaps.
But then you don't, because it's a bit deep.
Yes.
Yeah, but I also wanted that.
You wanted that?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I wanted the viewer to see the print from the side maybe first, and then see that if you go around it, you will go more into the image. And then you look at it, and then it's like you go into the photo. That was my thinking. I have to say one thing to this print. I shot this handheld, wide open, and I wanted to use a photo for today where I didn't use a tripod, for low light, because I wanted to show that you can take photos and print this big, even handheld. So yeah, I could have stopped down the lens, maybe get all of this in focus, but next time I came back with a tripod and this ship was gone, so I had to use this one. But I also like that it's a little bit blurry, so you look into the center. Can I ask you a little cheeky question?
Yes, of course.
What if a customer shows up or receives a print and is like, I didn't want it like this, I wanted it maybe different? It's too late, right? It's an individual.
No. Just text us.
Yeah.
We will find a solution for everything. That's
Really?
totally
Okay.
clear. It's art. It's like emotions are bound in it.
Yeah.
It should be 100%. It should be 110%.
Even if it's just, I don't like the framing anymore.
There's a little bit dark. I imagined it would be in another way produced. I had something different in mind. So I would like to, I'm not happy about it. So text us and we will find a solution.
Okay.
That's always the case.
Okay, I thought that you order and then you just have to.
No. We don't leave you just in the dark.
Okay. I'm now
big boy.
picturing it in my living room, but
Yes.
I'm too scared to hang it because, as I said,
Why?
my son he throws stuff.
Oh.
So maybe it has to go into the bedroom, but my wife already said, no, I don't want this in the bedroom. So I have to find space for it, but
It's
Yeah.
art. It's art. It's like it looks good everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm sure about that.
all right, the day has come to an end. It's getting darker outside, and we're ending a day here at the WhiteWall flagship in Hamburg. We just saw our final prints, the fine art prints. It was great seeing the final physical product, not only on the computer, but seeing a print. That's always nice. And I think I want to highlight here that, in my opinion at least, this is why you use a camera like this, to make something out of it. Not just look at it on a computer, but make prints, make books, right? Do exhibitions. So for that, now I saw what you can really do with this sensor.
I'm really happy with the results.
Yeah?
Yes. I have done bigger prints, but with this camera, this is the biggest size
Okay.
I have seen, and I'm impressed with the details and also with the colors. I think it's important that when you photograph, that somehow you take it outside of the computer. Instagram, I think, doesn't count really, or it helps.
It doesn't do
but at
this
the end,
justice, yeah.
At the end, photography for me is about paper. Okay, that you somehow you print it or you put it in a book. You start to tell a story, and you work with the file, and it becomes you make the step between digital and then analog, and then let others experience it.
Yeah.
So that's
For example, when we looked at the prints, we played with the lighting, changed the lighting, and suddenly the whole experience of the print changed. You know, if you have direct light, you see everything, it's brighter. If you take it away, it's darker. So it also depends where you hang your print. So this is all stuff that, you know, you only experience when you do prints. And when you're on the computer, you have the images are backlit. They always have light.
not everything, but most things, they look good on the screen.
Yeah.
But then when you do this step of taking it outside of the computer, then it's kind of the reality check.
If it stays digital, then especially nowadays with AI and generated imagery, it blurs the line between what is a photograph and what is digital art. But when you print and it comes from a camera, it is not manipulated, processed, yes, but not manipulated, then you have something. And for me, a photograph is the final form is on paper, either books or prints. I don't do this enough, so I should do this more often, but I'm probably going to do it more often now. But yeah, it was nice seeing or being reminded, this is why you do this. So if you guys want to print out your own photos or make some books or some fine art prints, please go check out WhiteWall. They ship internationally, and they're also giving my viewers a 10% discount code. I will include it in the video description. If you have a WhiteWall store near you, then please go there, check all the products out yourself, touch it, try it, it's allowed, you can do that. Or even bring your files and make the prints or configure the prints in the store. Or, as I did it, call someone at WhiteWall and do it at home. That also works. Now, I want to end this with some closing thoughts about our road trip, our experience, not going too much into detail, but how was this experience? Really investing our time into this medium format and medium format photography.
For me, I really enjoy the central shutter. I enjoy how it feels when you actually make the picture. I like to use this for stage, and right now I'm working on a project with stage photography. So, and I heard others commenting how silent I am, but it's not completely silent.
Yeah.
I hear this click. So there's something, in a way, you work with a bigger format, but then you work in a very humble way because it's subtle.
Yeah, it's like a machine gun. You're not like
no. Yet, so it's a considered way of working, and also when you do the pictures, the sizes are big. You get a lot of information and data, so it slows me down and it forces me to take less pictures as well. And then I have a second part to this when I go into the post and into the software. There I really lean back and it feels like swimming in these files.
Well, the overall experience coming back from a shoot, and we already touched on it, but plugging in the USB cable and then just using the internal storage. I have a compact flash card here just for a backup, but I still haven't formatted the internal storage. So it's 1 terabyte, right?
Yeah.
We didn't even mention a lot of specs here. That's super convenient, and then it's like I work on these files, I'm done. Then I unplug my camera, and then the camera has charged, during this process.
Yeah.
That's also very nice. I want to make one comment about the price or the value of this camera, because we talked about this also before. How we were talking about, people spend so much money or a lot of money for cameras. They often spend, multiple thousands of euros for cameras. And then we compared it to, not to make a direct comparison to another camera brand, but, Leica cameras are also expensive, but you're getting full frame, right? And this is not that more expensive. Actually, it's in the same price range as the current flagship full frame Leica camera. Totally different systems, but you have one full frame, and here you have a medium format sensor, or
It's 44 by 33 millimeters.
But you get the 16-bit.
Yeah.
You get the 100 megapixels. It's even though it's still a lot of money for me to invest in something like this, but at least I know I'm getting something I cannot get anywhere else unless I pay even more, you know. So when I think back to our road trip, I said at the end that, you know, I tried hard to fall in love with this camera and it's just not for me. And, you know, now I had a little bit more time to think about it again and also use it for my private photos and take photos of my son. And actually for that kind of photography, taking photos of my son and my family, this is amazing. I love it. I really love it.
Then it becomes portrait photo.
Yeah, then it becomes portrait photography, and I feel like it's more of a special moment for myself. You know, we went out taking photos of ships and bridges. I don't have a personal connection, so that was also something that I didn't really connect it to my subject. You know, but when I take photos of people I love and people I care about, then this makes me feel like I'm giving them, you know, the appreciation they deserve because I'm using something like this.
Oh, okay.
You know, this is how I see it at this moment. But I don't want to stand here and say, you know, oh, this is the best thing ever for my photography. Yeah, overall, I'm very grateful that I did this with you. It was a lot of fun doing this together, being Hasselblad brothers for a day or 2 days actually. Yeah, and I'm also glad that I took on this opportunity to give this a fair try. I really wanted to see it for myself because, you know, you can talk about something, but trying it out yourself is a different story. So I think we went deep enough, and hopefully this was also educational to you. You learned something, or maybe it was at least entertaining. And yeah, thanks to Hasselblad for sponsoring this video and WhiteWall to partnering up with us and letting us film here and giving us all these amazing prints. Again, check out the description for the discount code and check out the website, the showrooms. And I see you in another video very soon. So good night, goodbye, and stay 16-bit.
16.
No, everyone, please,
16-bit.
all the camera brands, make 16-bit a standard, okay? Thanks.